Along the coast of Bangladesh lies the Chittagong Ship Breaking Yard, a place where the world's largest ships come to die. Stretching for miles along Sitakunda's muddy shores, it's a surreal landscape of rusting giants, half submerged and waiting to be dismantled. The air is thick with salt, rust, and burning metal, and the sounds of hammers and blowtorches fill the air. Here, massive oil tankers and container ships are taken apart by hand, piece by piece. For thousands of workers, this isn't just a scrapyard, it's their livelihood. From a distance, the yard looks post-apocalyptic, steel skeletons scattered across tidal flats, smaller boats ferrying workers and salvaged parts. This is no high-tech operation, it's raw manpower versus mountains of metal. Each ship is a floating skyscraper turned on its side, and the men who climb them seem tiny by comparison. It's a paradox, a graveyard for ships, but a nursery for new beginnings. Salvaged steel is melted down and reborn as rebar and construction materials, fueling Bangladesh's growth. Every beam and plate pulled from these hulks becomes part of the nation's future. It's dirty, dangerous work, but vital. This is the story of how one of the world's largest ship recycling industries came to be, and of the people who make it happen, every single day. Welcome to Chittagong. The origins of Chittagong's ship-breaking industry trace back to a single accident. In 1960, a Greek cargo ship, the MD Alpine, was caught in a cyclone and driven onto the shores of Sitakunda. For 5 years it sat abandoned, a massive, rusting landmark. Salvaging it seemed impossible, but in 1965, a local company, Chittagong Steel House, saw opportunity. Lacking heavy machinery, they began dismantling the ship right where it lay, using only basic tools and sheer determination. It was slow, dangerous work, but the payoff was huge. Tons of valuable steel. At the time, Bangladesh had little domestic steel production and imports were costly. The MD Alpine steel became a game changer, sparking the birth of a new industry. Word spread quickly. If one ship could yield so much, why not more? Entrepreneurs realized that bringing old ships to these beaches could supply the nation with much-needed steel. The accidental grounding of the MD Alpine planted the seed for what would become a global ship-breaking powerhouse. From that single wreck, an entire industry began to grow. The process was rough, but the rewards were undeniable. Soon, more ships arrived, and Chittagong's transformation was underway. The legacy of the MD Alpine lives on in every beam of steel salvaged from these shores. Sometimes, history is made by accident. After the MD Alpine, shipbreaking in Chittagong took off. The secret? Beaching. Sailing old ships at full speed onto the muddy flats during high tide. No need for expensive docks or cranes, just a long sloping beach and the right tide. Once beached, workers could start dismantling immediately, using simple tools and raw strength. In the 1970s and 80s, the industry exploded. Miles of coastline became shipbreaking plots. Ships from around the world ended their journeys here, turning the beach into a reverse assembly line. Workers cut away massive steel sections, dropping them onto the mud, then dragged them ashore. It was grueling, dangerous, and low-tech, but incredibly effective. This approach kept costs low and made Chittagong a global leader in ship recycling. The industry's growth was fueled by necessity, ingenuity, and the relentless drive of its workers. What began as improvisation became a well-oiled machine. Chittagong's beaches became the final destination for the world's maritime giants, all built on the simple, dramatic act of beaching. Chittagong's ship-breaking yard is the backbone of Bangladesh's steel supply. With few natural iron ore deposits, the country once relied on expensive imports. Now, beached ships provide a steady stream of high-quality steel. Salvaged plates are sent to re-rolling mills, transformed into rebar, the backbone of new buildings, bridges and factories. Nearly every major construction project in Bangladesh uses steel that began as a ship's hull. But it's not just steel. Every part of the ship is reused or sold. Generators power villages, furniture fills homes, and even toilets and lifeboats find new owners. Copper wiring, engines, and propellers are stripped and repurposed. This is recycling at its most extreme, driven by necessity. The industry directly employs tens of thousands and supports hundreds of thousands more through related jobs. Truck drivers, mill workers, shopkeepers, all depend on the flow of scrap from Chittagong. For a nation with limited resources, shipbreaking is an economic engine. It turns maritime waste into the raw material of progress. The work at Chittagong is as perilous as it is essential. Workers face daily risks, climbing rusting hulls in flip-flops, wielding blowtorches with little protection. Falls, collapsing steel, and explosions from trapped gases are constant threats. Toxic materials, like asbestos, lead, and PCBs, pose long-term health dangers. Most workers labor 12 to 14 hours a day for low pay, living in crowded shacks near the yards. Many are migrants, driven by poverty and the need to support their families. They know the risks, but have few alternatives. The job is brutally hard, but for many, it's the only way to survive. The human cost is high. Injuries and illness are common. Yet, the industry's economic benefits keep the work going. This is the harsh reality behind the steel that builds a nation. Progress here comes at a price. The same methods that make Chittagong efficient also wreak havoc on the environment. With no containment, oil, chemicals, and toxic paint spill directly into the mudflats and the Bay of Bengal. Hazardous materials, like asbestos and PCBs, are released into the air, water, and soil. The destruction of the beach habitat harms marine life and disrupts local ecosystems. Toxic substances accumulate in the food chain, threatening both wildlife and human health. The physical act of dragging steel across the tidal flats destroys habitats for crabs, shellfish, and birds. For years, economic need overshadowed environmental concerns. But as awareness grew, international pressure mounted for Bangladesh to clean up its act. The challenge balancing economic survival with environmental responsibility. The world began to demand change. Under global scrutiny, Bangladesh's shipbreaking industry is slowly evolving. The government is moving toward adopting the Hong Kong Convention, setting standards for safer, cleaner ship recycling. Some yards now have concrete cutting areas to contain toxins and better equipment for handling hazardous waste. Worker safety is improving. Protective gear, training, and on-site clinics are becoming more common. These changes are not universal, but they mark a shift in mindset. The challenge is cost. Upgrades make yards less competitive, risking business loss to countries with weaker standards. Still, reform is underway, driven by both regulation and market demand. The industry must find a way to balance progress with economic reality. The journey is slow, but the first steps have been taken. The future depends on continuing this momentum. Chittagong's main rival is Alang, India, the world's largest ship-breaking yard. Both use similar beaching methods and face criticism for safety and pollution. But Alang has moved faster to adopt international standards, investing in infrastructure and worker protection. Many Alang yards are now certified under the Hong Kong Convention, with better waste management and mandatory safety gear. Chittagong, meanwhile, is modernizing more slowly, creating a divide between upgraded and old-style yards. This has hurt its reputation, making it a destination for ship owners, less concerned with standards. The competition creates a race to the bottom, unless global buyers demand greener, safer recycling. Increasingly, shipping companies and investors are insisting on certified facilities. This pressure is forcing Chittagong to adapt or risk being left behind. The rivalry with Alang is both a challenge and a catalyst for reform. The world is watching and demanding better. Chittagong's future depends on keeping pace. Chittagong's ship-breaking yard stands at a crossroads. The industry is vital, providing jobs, steel, and economic growth. But the costs are real. The challenge isn't to end shipbreaking, but to make it safer and more sustainable. Wider adoption of international standards, investment in safer infrastructure, and stronger government oversight are essential. Most importantly, workers must be protected and fairly compensated. Ship owners also have a role, choosing certified, responsible yards, even at higher cost. Market demand for ethical recycling can drive real change. Chittagong can continue as before, risking its reputation and people, or embrace reform for long-term survival. The path forward is harder, but it's the only way to ensure the industry's future. The goal: a ship-breaking yard where progress and dignity go hand in hand, where the clang of hammers signals hope, not harm. The graveyard of giants can become a source of life, without such a heavy price. The choice is Bangladesh's to make.